Set 75419, the infamous UCS Death Star, or now commonly referred to as the Death Slice. I'm very fortunate to have bought this day one and have built it. We all know by now this is the record for the most figures in a LEGO Star Wars set. So I thought I'd do a ranking from my worst to first favourites, while also giving a quick tuppence on the 38 figures. Just a quick disclaimer, I haven't included the figures from the possibly even more infamous GWP TIE Fighter, as they aren't available now for those wanting to buy the slice, which I do actually highly recommend if you're umming and ahhing about it. So, let's get stuck into the video. We kick the list off with my least favourite figure, C-3PO. Nearly an amazing figure, but the lack of dual moulded legs in such an expensive set, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth, to be honest. So yeah, this one has to start at the very bottom. Don't actually mind this layer figure, but I just think the choice of legs instead of a dress piece is pretty abysmal. And it's about time they started giving us a white hood piece as an addition instead of just a print on the back. Help me, LEGO design team. You're my only hope. Chewie next, and to be honest, I don't have any huge complaints, other than I've got enough of these to fill a base plate probably. So I'm ready for a slight update, even if I can't work out what it should be. But that's LEGO's job, not mine. Stormtroopers next, and while they're ranked low, it doesn't mean I don't like them. Often termed the Family Guy Trooper, my hot take is I actually like the helmet mould. I'd be happy for this version to stay in production for a while longer. Imperial Shuttle Pilot now, and I do like the design of this. You know, it's sleek and to the point. But that point, it just isn't as exciting as others further down the list. But yeah, not really any complaints from me on this one. One of the Imperial crew members next. And to be fair, it's actually quite a good figure. You know, I love the print on the head with the headset. Maybe just lacking a bit of arm printing, or if you want to push the boat out even more, some dual moulded legs. I've grouped these two together, these Imperial Navy troopers. To be fair, they do lack in leg printing, like the Imperial Shuttle Pilot had. But to be honest, I'm just a massive fan of that helmet mould. I think it looks incredible, especially with the strap printed on the face. Yeah, I'm a fan of these, to be honest. These two Death Star gunners, they just picked the Navy troopers to the post because of that extra detail with the printed legs. But again, another fantastic helmet mould that LEGO have pretty much perfected. So yeah, these two figures, they're fantastic. In and around the midway point, we've got R2. I really like this fig. They've not done anything new with it, but did they need to? Probably not. Yeah, it doesn't go too low or too high, because I'm a fan of the figure, but we've probably all got a dozen of these by now. Han Solo, a favourite for me, but the lack of dual moulded legs we've had for him before, it just lets him down, which is probably an occurring theme in this. But yeah, as a figure and as a character, I just love him to bits. Putting these two together, because they're exactly what it says on the tin, Han and Luke in Stormtrooper gear. I've got these quite higher up the list than you might have expected, because I just love them in the scene in A New Hope. Especially that awkward scene with Han and the officer on the comms. We're all fine here now, thank you. How are you? Another Imperial crew member next. And to be fair, she probably ranks higher on the list, than where you would have put her, but I'm just a huge fan of that dual moulded combo of the hat and hair. I think it looks incredible. First introduced on Dead Ramiro, but yeah, it definitely does a job here. The Imperial Navy officer next, and she does beat the crew member on this list, because again, it's got that hat and hair mould, but this one's unique to the set. The hair print, the colour, just looks really nice. I just love the Imperial hats, to be honest. I'd quite like one myself. Emperor Palpatine, an incredible character, and an incredible figure, to be fair. It just looks menacing, doesn't he? The only nitpick I have with him is the pupilless face. Doesn't ruin the figure completely for me. I still really like him. But yeah, if I could perfect it anyway, bring pupils back in 2027, please. Now I know some people get bored of Farm Boy Luke, because we've had hundreds of them. But me, I love them, to be honest. My favourite character in all of Star Wars. So yeah, always welcomed to see a new print for it. I don't think it's unique anymore, but yeah, love the print, love the character. So he's probably higher up on my list than he would be yours. Darth Vader. I don't think LEGO can do a lot more now to perfect it. Well, I say a lot more, I can't think of anything really. The helmet mould's incredible, the prints are really good. He ranks high on my list because when you picture Darth Vader on the Death Star, he finally completes the tragic but loving story of Anakin Skywalker. Is it aura farming, what the kids are saying these days? Well, whatever that means, these Imperial Royal Guards have got it. They look incredible. That mask or helmet mould, whatever you want to call it, hasn't needed any updates since its original release. And how many LEGO Star Wars moulds can say that? But yeah, the cape's fantastic. The colour just pops. And a new torso print as well, just to beef these bad boys up. General Tag, a very important and crucial addition to this Death Star. You know, not the most extravagant figure, but as a character, one I was chuffed to get. Really clever character as well. If the other officers feared and respected the rebellion as much as he did, the Empire might have actually won. Admiral Yularen next, and I'm so glad the Clone Wars gave this character a bit more of a backstory. Seeing an Imperial in all white, it just looks brilliant, especially with the hair mould and hair print to match. He really stands out next to the other Imperials. It's just a shame the lack of dual moulded legs is here, because that would really perfect the figure. The unique face print does give it extra brownie points though. As previously mentioned, Luke Skywalker's my favourite character, and the Return of the Jedi Luke is definitely my favourite version. He just looks so iconic with that green saber, and the all black attire, it just really contrasts well. And the new hair mould they've given him in the recent years, I think it's perfect. So yeah, a bit of character bias towards this figure. I just love it. So that brings us to Grand Moff Tarkin, an incredible figure. I mean, just look at those badge rankings. Takes up half the torso print. But it just goes to show how important of a character he is. This hair mould is used quite a lot in LEGO, but I think if there's any character, any franchise, this hair mould suits Tarkin the most. It is perfect for him. And the miserable wrinkled face print to match, yeah, incredible. But please, dual moulded legs. I think LEGO, they've really nailed the astromech mould. So to get a new character and unique to the set, always welcomed. And R3-T6 really does a good job here. That clear, like head mould, head print, looks fantastic. And the red and blue as well. It really matches what he looked like when it was seen manoeuvring about the Death Star in the movie A New Hope. Admiral Motti, his lack of faith is disturbing. But yeah, as a character, very, very important to get in this set. An iconic scene in the Death Star where he's challenging Vader and Vader just proceeds to force choke him. And I'm so glad LEGO have replicated that with the face print. Good old Ben Kenobi next. As a figure, LEGO have smashed it here, giving us a new unique torso. It just shows they can add finer details when it isn't always necessary. There's not much they can do to upgrade this figure, possibly arm printing, but sometimes less is more, and I stand by that point when it comes to this Ben Kenobi figure. The RA7 figure next, and wow, this protocol droid is superb. LEGO have done this head mould in the past quite a lot, but now being able to dual mould it to give it colour for the eyes just shows LEGO getting to their next level with these droids. I'm a sucker for a unique figure to a set, and I can see this one staying exclusive to the Death Slice forever. Now we get to the final four, the big hitters. Imperial Dignitary was definitely one of the many reasons I wanted the set. Seeing the colour purple stand out like that on a Star Wars figure, it don't happen much. And with that new hat mould, this figure is going to be a highly desirable one for a very long time. The scary face print matches very well. It just lacks the printing on the dress piece to put it top of my rankings. Orson Krennic now, and I have to say, I think this is LEGO Star Wars hitting perfection. This figure represents the character in every way, with that cold face print right up to his iconic white cape. Like I said before, white on Imperials just adds that prestige feel to the look. And there's no dual moulded legs issues here on a character that wears black boots and black trousers. A simply must have for a UCS Death Star. Talking of simply must-haves, Galen Erso really fits that bill. A character the community have been crying out for years, and I'm thrilled to bits LEGO finally gave us one. The green Imperial uniform looks incredible. Despite the lack of black boots, Galen's design looks fantastic compared to his in-universe look. And my favourite part of the whole minifigure has to be the Project Stardust badge represented on his arm print. Finally, we hit the number one spot and hands down my favourite of the set. And actually, my favourite figure across all LEGO Star Wars. The reason being is how important to my childhood and Star Wars fandom the LEGO Star Wars Complete Saga game was for me growing up. The Hot Tub Troopers are a staple of the game's lore, so to finally see one in a LEGO set helped me relive that nostalgia and make me feel like a kid sat on his bunk bed playing his PlayStation all weekend again. The good old days, eh? The figure itself has incredible detail. The ever so important dual moulded legs, so commonly talked about in this video, finally given to us, and what an amazing job they've done with it. The Empire logo on the shorts looks fantastic, and the torso print showing the abs, incredible. My bias of its importance to me easily puts this figure at top spot, and I don't think anything will ever knock it off its perch. So that wraps up my ranking of worst to first favourite of all 38 minifigures in the UCS Death Star. If you've made it this far, I want to say thanks very much for watching, and if you haven't already, please drop me a like and a sub It all helps a ton. Let me know in the comments, would you make any big changes? Or do you reckon I've got this bang on as well? Now, I'm Nimble Saucepan, and I'll see you on the next one. Ta-ra!